YouTubes. Just got the intranets up, so we're just doing a test to see how it runs out here. The old fiber optics. See how it goes. Hopefully we are back in the saddle. I seen HD do a video today. I was gonna do a video on the road today. I just was too freaking busy and just spotty ass reception. So I figured, I was like, man, I'll get home and fire one up maybe after I take a little nap. A little nappy poo. So let's see. Let's see if this thing working. No. You go lay down somewhere. Go to sleep. Start at frickin' 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll give it a second. No. Bye. What up? Can you hear me? What up, bikes? Can you hear me? How's the audio? How's the video? How's the visuals? We got a little girl that wants to be part of the chat, but you're not old enough. So I came and got the internet in today, and so it's the first little test run. Start putting my cameras up. I was not a proponent of cameras some years ago, but I swear by them now. You know, I mean, I probably wouldn't, have recommended Aaron Hernandez put cameras in his house and then him go kill somebody and then like all his home evidence be used against him. I don't advocate for that. If you're some type of criminal doing criminal activities, you might not want to fill your house full of cameras. I'm not putting none inside. I know a lot of people put cameras inside now because I see the videos all the time. We see the videos all the time of people with cameras inside the home. But as far as cameras around the home is already in an honest area, but I just, I mean, it's a good way to keep track of different stuff, if you were expecting somebody, say the power guy or the whatever guy, right? Whatever the guy is. And they said they were there, but, obviously, you don't see them on the camera. It's just things like that. Either people saying they were here and they weren't here, or it's a good way, like if you're at work and you need work done at the house, you're waiting on your guy tells you, hey, I'll give you a call when I text you. I said, you don't even have to worry about calling or text me. I'll see you on the camera. Wave to the camera. I'll see you when you get there. So it's a good way to it's a good way to honestly just have that little ace up your sleeve. It helps. It helps probably if you're in a community where there's maybe one way in, one way out, or whatever, right? And there was something that happened in the neighborhood. I'm thinking rural, like kind of how we are. And maybe, the whole succession of houses. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's a good way that if something happens on another property on your road or whatever, and your neighbors that don't have cameras, it's a good way for you to catch maybe the tail end or the beginning of some activity. Maybe all you catch is a license plate going down or leaving that of somebody that shouldn't be there, you know. So there's just a host of good reasons, I think, especially, you know. Oh, they found a snake. They're gonna fight over a snake. That's the first snake on the property. Don't get bit and die. Is there a couple of them? That's funny. These girls, they love snakes. Chickens love snakes. They're like little velociraptors. Not to get lost in the sauce here, but chickens, man. I swear by a couple animals if you're living in the country, and you can't tell me any different. You know, I don't care who you are. You cannot tell me difference between these two. Not difference, but the you got to have chickens, and you got if you live out in the country for sure, you got to have chickens, and you got to have a cat or a couple cats. The hardest thing to deal with out in the country, for the most part, is pests. You know, whether it's flying, crawling, scurrying, slithering, whatever. Just pests that shouldn't be up in and around the home. Chickens and cats. I mean, they will tear. I'm watching her. I'm trying to see where she's at. They'll tear a snake up, man. They will tear a snake into pieces. She took off with that sucker. She wants it all to herself. One of the most timid chickens, too. One of the most timid chickens that kind of gets punked around a little bit. She beat everybody for that snake. And then I'm on a hunt for a cat right now, which, you know, in Arkansas you don't have to with dogs and cats, you don't even have to like people look at you stupid when you spend a bunch of money on a cat or a dog because there's so many cats and dogs that need good homes out here. So I feel that way about cat. You know, I've gotten my first cat out here that I ever had was out here. What up, Presley? What up, Bikes? My first cat was out here, and somebody gave me that. It was a kitten. A customer gave me a kitten. I suggest that's the way that you do a cat. If you're gonna get a cat, that's the ideal way. If you take in a stray or my second was a rescue from the pound, you know, and she was kind of young, but she was already a full grown cat. But they take more time and investment in having to do things to make them stick around and want to be around, you know. A kitten is not going to know any different and is going to grow up with you and be like, just like when you get a puppy, like a puppy's not going to stray very far from you, you know. So same thing with kittens. If you go the rescue route or you try to take in a feral cat or something like that, it depends. A feral cat might, just because of the conditions, might be try to go all in on you because you're feeding it, just by that virtue, you know what I mean. But a rescue from the home, I had to have her locked up. I had to have her locked up for probably. I mean, I'd let her out. I had a litter box. No, I had a litter box. I had her locked up for probably almost 3 months. And it said that. I wouldn't even have known that otherwise, but it said that in the paperwork when I rescued her. So, you know, and the paperwork says it could take anywhere, I think, from 3 weeks to 3 months to get them to understand that this is their home, this is where they should be, this is where they should stay, this is what they should do. But, and I'm an outside cat person, so I mean that's obvious. That's the only way they can handle pests. I mean, they can handle pests from the inside of the home, but they don't hit the rodents that are around. And so the chickens, obviously, the cat, everybody's outside. So dog's inside right now. I got to get some fencing up, but as soon as I get some fencing up, his ass is back outside till it gets too cold. Then he'll be back inside for a bit. But they're just out here. It's good for me. They can eat up all the snakes they want. I don't really care for. I don't really want them eating up little baby black snakes. I couldn't really tell what it was. It was kind of, it was brown and like white on the belly. It was a young snake. So, but they're foraging, man. They are out there foraging. The neighborhood I'm in, lots of people have everybody's got chickens out here. I don't think I drove past a house where somebody doesn't have chickens. Everybody's got chickens out here. I don't hear a ton of roosters, but everybody's got chickens. So I don't know if people are just not keeping roosters or maybe whatever's. I don't know. But everybody's kind of far apart from each other too. So I don't know that I'd even hear a rooster. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. I think my next my next door neighbor, the closest person to me, a little old lady, she doesn't have any chickens. But then there's a mule farm down the road. What up, Royce? There's a mule farm down the road. They got chickens. They got guineas. I'm not sure what else they got. They got horses. So my plan is now, is always playing from behind, just trying to build a house and all that kind of crap is just like like I said, it's a mental drain. It's a physical drain and a monetary drain. Just it takes bucks to build a house. Everything on building a house right now is still way overinflated. So being able to step into a house that's already built, basically swapping out the acreage I had 5 over there, I have 5 over here. I can dig it, man, and then I can get into the projects that I knew I was trying to get into, but was not able to fully immerse myself in. I mean, you got to have water. Water's the key to life. I had to truck in every drop. There was some months there where I was able to fill a 55-gallon drum with all the rain we were getting, but I mean, as soon as it ironed out and got dried out, that water in a 55-gallon drum, I always wondered how long would a 55-gallon drum last you. And so watering plants and chickens and all that, I don't think it lasted a full 55-gallon drum. It might have lasted 2 or 3 weeks. So I've already dropped just a couple of trees. I'm really trying to go ham on some other trees I got up front. I got trees to come down everywhere though. This one right here behind me, that one's coming down. I got my mower will be delivered probably next week. My guy, I'm putting it in the shop, get a couple things taken care of, and then he's gonna deliver it down here. So I'll get my little mower. I'll probably mow once. I'm about to weed eat probably maybe tomorrow. Do a little bit of weed eating. Do one good mow probably, and then call it a summer. I mean, summer's over. It came back with a little bit of vengeance this past couple weeks. It warmed right back up and was like, damn, you couldn't even tell the difference. And then the rain for the last 3 4 days has just been crazy. So tons of rain. I guess maybe we're off of a burn ban now. I don't know. My county was in a burn ban. I don't think I seen the signs up still, but it's still for out here it's weird. You have to get rain for a minute for the ground and everything to be like saturated and everything to be like Arkansas usually is, nice and moist. But once this bitch dries out, you could get say 4 or 5 inches of rain over a couple days thing, and it'll basically just barely quench the thirst of the land for just a little bit, and then you'll be right back into a burn ban if you don't get more rain, because the ground out here is like a sponge. It don't matter wherever it is. It's a combination of rock, clay, sand, and you know the clay. I mean, you don't have to go super far down to hit it, but you got to go a little bit. Some people got some top clay, but for the most part, you can. My daughter's just in there freaking out. Mama's got to deal with it. Where was I going with this? The top. I mean, the ground out here is like a sponge. So just exactly like a sponge. When everything's good, it's like a little wet, moist sponge. What it was over probably the spring was just a soaking wet sponge that would never dry out. And then we got real dry. And then just like a sponge, what up, Berrywood? Just like a sponge, this sucking ground starts sucking. It just turns into a dry ass sponge. I mean, everything out here is trying to suck, the water out of the ground. All the trees, the grass, I still sick to my stomach. I paid $300 for a fucking blue spruce Fat Albert. That was the one I used for a Christmas tree the last 3 years, maybe. I've used it for a Christmas tree. And I don't know if I killed it or just not watering, because all the other trees are like they were just doing tree things. That fucking blue spruce, that $300 tree, I would not get one of those again. As much as I love those trees, I think he had to get it up pretty big before it could like hit a drought and not just fucking die in a couple. It's despicable. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm like, that's. It was like a host of shitty things that happened to me on that property, like on the way out or on up until the time I was about to get out of there, that I made the decision to get out of there. Talked about on here that my cat got ran over, and there's just a host of like bad luck things that happen on the property. Not anything too totally catastrophic, just a whole bunch of live and learn moments out there in the woods and living off grid for 3 years. And then, we have a baby. So having a regular house, running water, all that kind of stuff is fucking obviously, it becomes more super duper important. And we could not continue to live like that. On top, you know what I mean? On top of it, it was impossible to get a construction loan. I talk to a lot of people, even still now. And a lot of people, like, nobody's using the bank. They're either piecing it together, or a lot of people are in the same boat as me, where they have some land, they don't qualify for a construction loan, but they qualify for a home loan. So there's just a lot of goofy shit going on. Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple apple trees next year. I meant to this year, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut down all these trees. I want some type of lined up pretty ass orchard across the front. So maybe I'll do like apple tree, dogwood, maybe olive tree or something like that. Because they grow olive trees up here and they make it through the winter. So I'd have to see what they do for those olive trees. But I would definitely love, 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 absolutely love to have a olive tree. I mean, that'd be fucking awesome. That's like, but I'm sure it's a hair trigger on them suckers. I think this one, whatever it is, it's bred for this kind of climate because it's an orchard, and they pull it, I guess, and then they bring it to you. They deliver it, so it's pretty cool. But apple trees, big time. I think that is, dude. You gotta have apple trees. But then out here, you gotta like probably I'm guessing you gotta probably buy big old tree nets because our birds out here are sick. I mean, there's just like the wildlife out here will eat everything, whether it's your house, whether it's your crops, whether it's your animals. What? What are you upset about? You want to come outside? I know, but chicken shit all over the deck back here. I can't even let her out. She'll be stepping in chicken shit. I got so much stuff. I gotta make a gate. I gotta do some screening. I gotta do some fencing. The fencing, I'm gonna pay somebody to do fencing. I'm not doing no more fencing. I did enough fencing over at the other place. I'm done. There's things that you could do and probably admit that, like, hey, I could probably just pay somebody to do this and it'll come out better. So that's one of those things is fencing. And I'm gonna do a combo of some decorative fencing or something. I call it popsicle stick fence. Maybe some of that, and then a bunch of chain link. I need a dog run. I see people, they keep, out here in the country. I go to some of these houses and they keep these dogs in these tiny little pens, like maybe like a 12 by 10. I had a pretty good sized pen for my dog at the other place. It was probably 20 by 15 or 20 by 20 or 20 by 25. I don't know. I've never actually measured it, but it was a pretty good size space for one dog. And I felt like that was kind of small. So I know I'll do that again. I'll make him a pen out here. I'm going to build a chicken tractor, and I'm going to go away from just letting the chickens go willy nilly, I think. I'm going to put them in a chicken tractor and move them around. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about a tractor today, and I was telling him, I said, dude, I'm not buying a tractor. I got other things I got to buy, but tractor is not on my list. I guess if I run into so much money that I just can buy a tractor, that'll be an awesome day. But I need a, I got a ride mower. I need a zero turn. I need a wood splitter. Oh, you son of a gun. You sting me and your life is over, dude. Get away from me. Fucking son of a... Ooh, I got a fly swatter right here for this fucker. Motherfucking get out of here. I killed a mean ass wasp. Ow, fuck. Hit myself. I killed a mean ass wasp nest last night that's on this porch. There's like an American flag placard on the back of the house, and fucking hit myself. And I see all this like dripping stuff looking coming out of the behind the American flag. What the hell is that? There's a wasp nest back there. It's pretty good size too. So I squirted that fucker with some juice, and then they were just dropping out of there. This last night. If you're gonna deal with man, I could tell you so much stuff. It's crazy. When it comes to pests, I'm gonna just be very vague, but it's, let's just say it's in my profession, pests out here, because there's money to make off of that. So I'll say, like, that's part of where the crawl and the attic work comes from, but exclusion is a big one out here. So just plugging up how stuff's getting in, whether it's flying insects, which is usually wasps, or rodents. So like, yeah, man, they sent me like school for all this shit. So I know a bunch about fucking bugs and rodents, and not a ton about snakes because I don't really deal with a ton of snakes. I mean, all you gotta really know is that there's only like 4 poisonous snakes in Arkansas. I think it might be 5, and I think it's 4. I have to look, but you know how to identify as a poisonous snake and a snake that's not poisonous. That's very important, regardless of what you do or who you are. If you live out here, a lady got bit by a copperhead like recently, like a week or two ago, and like lived to tell about it and was fine. She was able to get to the hospital and everything. So like, there's all this. If you Google it, you can look. It happened in Arkansas or Missouri, something like that, or somewhere right over here in our area. And not all the times are all these pests fatal. I mean, it's just like everything else. Every person is susceptible to different things. Some people get bit by brown recluses and fucking die. Some people get skin rot and got to have their shit scooped out. Some people get bit by brown recluses and it's like a regular bug bite. It might itch and all that kind of shit. Yeah, I am the wood splitter. I had that one. I think the live still might be up. I think, what did I do? I swung and the fucking axe split, the axe handle split, or some. I remember some type of bad luck with that. I got my table and I left a tablecloth on the seats and the tabletop itself, and I totally fucking ruined my outdoor patio table deal. The old fashioned, like like wood one. This shit right here. Let's see. Hold on, let's see right here. This kind right here. So, yeah, it's was retarded, but everything out here in the elements is trying to make its way into your stuff. You leave a vehicle out here, nature will reclaim it, whether it's the weeds and the trees or the bugs and the bees and the that was weird. The whatever, rodents, all that good stuff. It's just part of it. What up, Americans Against Bush? What you could really do is just make a buffer around your home. That's what I recommend to people out here. I'm a home inspector, and I tell them, I went to one just like yesterday or the day before where the guy was having rodent trouble, and it's like a brand new modular with underpinning, basically a mobile. It's like a mobile. We call them modulars, but it's like a double wide. Nice. I mean, they make these things nice now. And so I'm explaining to him, like, dude, you got all this shit leaned up against your house. You have all this stuff up against your house, and you have all this stuff next to your house, and you live on pasture land. If you live in and around pasture land, you're going to have field mice. That's why they call them field mice. That's where they come from, the fields. Um, and so he lived in pasture land. I was explaining that, and then I was like, you got all this shit around your house. So sure enough, he's out there. He's like, man, I'll move all this stuff now. He's out there. He starts moving stuff. He's like, dude, holy moly, you were right. And I was like, what? What's up? I went over there. Dude, everything that he moved, there was big old fat field mice. I mean, field mice only really get so big, they really start going this way. They start getting real fat when they're fed good. And he's just got little field mice all under everything. His canoe, wood that's laying up against the house, anything that's leaned up against the house. So you never want to have, if you're in the desert, I guess stuff changes, but you never want to have shit leaned up against your house. You don't want to have wood and stuff up against your house. You don't even, I hate it when I see people put, their wood piles on their porch or something like that. I get it, it's out of convenience, but you have to have that break from the house to the wood because rodents are basically blind and they will use anything that you're going to put out next to your house to get into your house. They're going to use it as a pathway, like a freeway. Let me hit this low battery. Hold on. So, they're going to use that, and they're going to use that all year round. They'll be more inclined to use your house as a dwelling when it's real wet outside, when it's real cold outside, and sometimes when it gets really hot and dry outside. Almost like humans, like they want shelter, in your home, and they want to be doing what they do, pissing and shitting on everything and chewing holes and everything, and they they breed like crazy. Um, you know, a lot of people say most of the time, rodents want to be outside. They want to be outside doing rodent things out in nature. But in those instances where it's hot or cold, especially in the cold, they're gonna go in the house. They're tiny. You know what I mean? They're gonna go in your house. They're gonna look to nest, whether it's in your attic or your crawl space or your wall or your cabinet, wherever. So the easiest way to deal with them is to keep shit away from your house. Wood piles, if you gotta come out and you gotta walk, 10 yards, 15 yards, something like that. I gotta get over here. I got wood piles that are probably, what is that, 10, 15 yards off it's probably 10 yards off of my house. I'm gonna go out there like on a real cool day. I'm gonna take all these wood piles that he's made here because we got a wood stove, and I'm gonna bump them out probably another 5 to 10 yards. I'm gonna break them away from the house because rodents are gonna use those wood piles, whether it's up against your house, whether it's away from your house. So you should have them away from your house. But man, I learned so much shit in 5 years. It's just crazy. I don't know how much knowledge I could possibly have in 5 more years. What up, Rooster? I don't know how much more knowledge I could possibly have in 5 years, but if it's just double of what I got now, that's a lot of stuff. So I know how to run a chainsaw. Um, they're dangerous. Chainsaws are I like them, but they're dangerous. In a second, you could fucking cut your limb off. I'm definitely gonna invest in them chaps. I'm willy nilly, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. So like, if you hear me die in the newspaper, and it don't sound right, it probably was right. I'm out there with flip flops and no goggles on, just ears. I like to get some goggles on, but if I'm in a and if I like the other day, I needed to do something. I mean, I don't got no goggles. I got hearing. Try to always have hearing protection if I can, hearing and eyes with the chainsaw. But a lot of times, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm out there like a barefooted hillbilly almost, cutting stuff up in shorts and shit. So I need to be having chaps on and probably ears and eyes all the time. So I should get better about my PPE. But I mean, you know, you start drinking and you want, oh, you like looking at that tree, like, fuck that tree. You know, what's it done for me besides drop leaves and branches and shit all over my stuff? I'm gonna smack you, dude. Better just quit. Ooh. Fucking horseflies, wasps, no bees. We don't never have no bees. I'm getting bees though next year. But let me think. What else did I not know how to do before I got here? Weed eating, mowing. I known how to do that. I grew up weed eating and mowing. It's terrible. Riding a zero turn now. That I learned that out here. I learned a zero turn. I didn't even know what a zero turn was before I got here. And zero turns are awesome. They're just as fun. Like no, I'm staying away from it too, Rooster. I am staying away from electrical. I love the damn zero turns blast. So much fun. I was on lockout, tag out, and all that shit in Vegas, and I don't want nothing to do with electrical. Maybe that's something I'll look into in the future. When I feel like like kind of clearing my plate and be like, hey, let me attack this subject. You hear the donkeys in the background or the mules, but no, man, I leave certain things up to other people, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I think I'd like to get a little bit more mechanical, but electrical, no way. I'd rather just hire. I got a master electrician that we use for work. I'm actually using him to go up and unhook my building from my other spot. So he's the dude. This dude is cool as shit. Good dude, good dude, smart. So I feel so much better when I call him up and I say, hey, this is what I need done. Send me the invoice. Yeah, we had lockout tag out at the gypsum plant, and man, it's so crazy. And I know that's different than hooking up a house or something, but I'd rather have my like master electrician do some stuff because it makes me sleep better at night. If I wired up a house, I probably would never get no sleep. I'd probably be worrying, I'm gonna burn down this. I'm gonna burn in my sleep or some shit. So, but we got 18% here left on the battery. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep going for a while. Maybe when we get down to 5%, then I'll be like, all right. But yeah, man, we are another 5 acres. And basically, I mean, I didn't even move. Yeah, I did. I moved a little bit from where I was. I'm in the same area basically. Just kind of went from the top to the bottom. Verizon, yeah. Yeah, and our internet just came today, so maybe I could have been patient and not, but for a while now I've been just using my work phone because they pay, you know what I mean? They pay for me to have a phone, and I'm handling all my stuff in the work phone, and I can't do that. You got to have your own personal phone. You got banking shit, you got social medias that you're on that you probably shouldn't be posting from the work phone. But yeah, you gotta have your own personal phone. As much as it was such a benefit to not have that bill and all that kind of stuff, it's just it gets to the point where like people are calling me about work on the weekends, and I don't have no choice because like that's the damn phone that's in front of me. Fuck, I missed him. So yeah, I'm trying to go into monk status, man. I got the haircut already. Gonna get the robe, and then the fucking chanclas. Um, and then yeah, I'll be full monk status. I've thought about doing other things, man. Like they got that Patriot Mobile, and they got the this, and they got the that, and it's like that's fine and dandy, but I don't know that it's gonna work out here. I already have Verizon because my wife has Verizon, so her phone worked out here and mine didn't. It was like not that hard. But internet's up now, so we got the internet's on now. It says there's nobody out there watching. Hit that like button, man, and leave a comment if you're in the building. Shout out to Rooster. Rooster's been around a lot of years, man. Where are you at now, Rooster? Still out in the same place? We we still out here in the Ozarks, man. Dug in deep now. You get a house you get that 30-year loan. You committed. It ain't gonna take me. It better not take me no 30 years to pay it. I won't be. I might not even be around for 30 years. Sheesh. Maybe I will. Hopefully I will. That means I'd be 73. Who have already hit like almost the halfway point. It's crazy. Started these chats. I was like 29. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's a lot of chats. A lot of chats. Shout out to everybody out there though that's been around for a long time, man. A lot of the same fools been around for a long time. So it's always encouraging to see the little stragglers out there that are still making content. I'm going away from making prepping video. I don't even care about prepping anymore. Not that that should matter as far as me dissing anybody that is a prepper or the people that are going to continue to prep. I mean, I'm just going to be self sufficient. I think that's what really, honestly, that's what I'm shooting for. That's what's going to make me happy. That's what I believe in. But as far as being some type of prepper, offering prepper advice anymore or anything like that, or I'm just not doing that. I've preached for probably at least 7 years. I've been out here 5, but I've preached for like 7 years, 6, 7 years to get out of the city. That's the only advice that I probably still keep handing out for the foreseeable future is that everybody should still get out of the cities. I mean, it only gets worse from here. Whether they want to crack down and they want to go full martial law, or this whole thing just gets blown open and people start shooting each other, because people are starting to shoot each other like more. I haven't even really had a chat since the Charlie Kirk thing, but people are becoming more and more violent. Like people are becoming extremely violent, and so I think you should plan accordingly with that. But I don't see how it could get better. I don't think if we are on a trajectory of people becoming more and more violent. What up, Liberty for All? Damn, I started getting freaking allergies out here. Shit's blowing around. Um, the trajectory is that people are getting more and more violent. So I just don't see how that's going to change. I don't see how it's going to get tamed down or tampered down or whatever word I'm looking for here. I don't see how it's going to calm down. I mean, what's the incentive for people to chill out? What up, Speed Crusader? What is What's the incentive for people to chill out and come together? There is none. I mean, a lot of people you would say came together for this Charlie Kirk thing, but you know the terrible thing about the whole Charlie Kirk thing is that Trump and the DOJ and all these fools are just stay lying. It's like Biden was in there and he was an open, out and out liar. As much as he opened his mouth and tried to say he wasn't a liar, we all knew he was a liar. Plus the acts he was committing and doing and all that were like he'd be like, the sky's red, but we're all standing there looking at the sky and the sky's blue. That's the kind of shit Joe Biden would do, right? But with Trump, it's like all this secrecy. It's all this secrecy. It's like more of the state and its secrets, more state secrets, you know? And like Cash Patel is a horrible person. He is a horrible human being. He is like honestly one of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. Pam Bondi's just fucking retarded. She's just a retard. She's just incompetent. You know what I mean? Could she be in on the jig? I don't know. I don't know. Possibly, probably, maybe. But she's just an idiot. She's a moron. I think she ran for Miss USA or Miss Florida, whatever the fuck she was back in the day. And they asked her questions. I think you can Google it, YouTube it. And she's a retard. She's always been a retard. And Trump's kind of a retard for putting her in there because she's a retard. But Cash Patel is a horrible, horrible person. And I want to say that Dan Bongino is probably a close second. These are two people, it'd be like if I talked all the mess that I've talked over all these years, tomorrow they give me some position in the cabinet, right? And then I do like a 180 and I'm totally different than how I've been for 14 years on the internet talking about and saying the things that I've done, or, it's like my positions. And then like I switch on all my positions, or in like Dan Bongino's case, like his willingness to stay on honestly is a it's an indictment of who he is and what his character is. He would have been way better off like, taking all that money he was going to make from the show and then like criticizing what Trump's doing. But maybe he would have never even criticized Trump because Bongino's been spineless on some shit. You know what I mean? He's been wishy-washy on some shit, but I mean he had the nation, he had people's respect regardless of like, I'm just nitpicking, but now, and then he stayed on through all the bullshit through, I mean, Cash Patel is a fucking moron. He's not the kind of moron Pam Bondi is where she's just brain dead. Cash Patel is insidious. The things that he said on the Sean Ryan show, the things he said on different podcasts going into the role and now being into the role, you know, and it's the weirdest thing for like these FBI people to be like, the men and women of the FBI are working hard and doing this and this and this and we're doing, and it's like, yeah, bro, but you're not even like, whatever like little sidestep that you say and do and talk up your agents, you're not handling the big pieces of the pie, the things that we want fucking fixed. Like this whole fucking Epstein thing is a debacle. And there's some O'Keefe media video of somebody involved with some aspect of the administration saying yes, Epstein is CIA, and he basically fucking. There's a whole bunch of shady info out there. Trump don't want to bring down the whole system. It's like maybe that's Cash Patel's things too. Like they don't want to ruin the institution and bring it down or have it shut down or whatever the consequences when you expose the institution or the bureaucracy. They're more like on some Captain Save-A-Ho, and they're gonna go down with the ship. Trump would rather this country probably tear itself apart over fucking us all wondering what the real story and what's actually going on, so that he could save face for doing what I mean. Trump is not doing anything that any other president you would think. Like I'm sure if the Democrats had their chance and Trump was in those files, they would ruin him with that, and they'd be willing to like try to be some hero and but there's no incentive in it for them to they can't ruin Trump, so there's no incentive in the Democrats exposing what happened because it all involves Democrats. It involves Republicans too, but the institutions, just like Cash Patel, probably the same thing. The whole thing is corrupt, and instead of just exposing it and letting the dominoes or the pieces fall where they're going to fall, they'd rather just go down with the ship. What up, Chad Lilly? And so it's just a whole bunch of stupid shit. Like Trump is like good for the economy, and even that is not to me like people could tell me all they want, but I just bought a house, so I could tell you what the housing market's like. It fucking sucks. I drive all over the state all day long inspecting homes, so I got to fill up the gas all the time. Gas is basically where it was when Biden was president. I have to fucking grocery shop like damn near every week because between just shit ass food, produce that don't last, that kind of thing, groceries aren't down. So I'm wanting and trying to lie and tell myself that the economy is better under the Republicans and Trump, but is it really? I will leave that question mark for people watching the video. I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think anything. Okay, I won't say anything. Immigration has got better under Trump, right? And they're raiding fools and they're taking fools down. You got a bunch of crybabies and there's all types of crazy drama with that. That's good for TV, and that's one thing that he's came down hard on. But in the meantime, he's willing to in the back, he's willing to like let some fools stay for some certain reasons, and he's willing to allow immigration to continue even if it's legal. Um, I would say that this opinion has actually changed over the last bunch of months because I've probably done a video and I feel like I have where I've said like Nick Fuentes is not my he's like right there, but I don't totally agree. I've seen a lot of interviews with him lately, and I would say my everything basically lines up with him 100%. They're probably like 98, 99% with the America First agenda. America First, America. I'm a American isolationist. I would take it past that. I don't think that we fucking need anybody. What up, HTP? Doing a chat because I saw your chat earlier. I was gonna do one right around the time you were doing one. I was just driving and the signal was just up and down. I would never get a word out, but I just got internets, so at the new place. Um, and so I would say my opinions and my views line up with more like a Nick Fuentes. I mean, almost damn near. I feel bring something up and I'll let you know if I disagree with it, but I feel that obviously our government is totally infiltrated by outsiders completely. Sometimes you think it's just Israel, but I mean, it's a host of globalist bullshit that has infiltrated and overridden the American people. So, um, I enjoy being Catholic and the Catholic Mass. I think that if we're going to import people, they should probably be white people. I think that immigration needs to be cut. I think immigration needs to be cut off at the knees. I don't think we are full. We are good and we are full. So I am not a fan of Israel at all. 0%. And if you asked me this a year ago or 2 years ago, it's something I kind of been ignoring. I didn't want to It's not that I didn't want to accept it. It's just something like outside of my range that I'm not trying to really touch. And I would tell you right now, ask me a question about them motherfuckers now, and I've got no problem telling you that they are scumbags. So, um, what Congress is trying to do with these free speech laws, what government is trying to do with implementing, you know, Before it was just foreigners' passports that you could lose your passport if you were a critic of Israel. Now there's talk that you, as an American citizen, could lose your passport and the ability to travel abroad if you criticize Israel. The shit with them wearing the fucking hats and kissing the wall and all that, no, no, I'm not cool with that. If you do that, bro, you're not the dude. And so every person that's done that, you are not the dude and you're not the woman. That's another thing. I'm not looking forward to no fucking female leaders. I'm not looking for that. I don't like it. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I voted for her. I think she's a fucking disaster. Her dad, is a disaster. Huckabee, I don't know what happened to that family, but they are a fucking disaster. You know, it's like Israel comes in, they scoop you up, they offer you a free trip to Israel. You got to put the hat on, kiss the wall, and that's just the fucking ritual. And it's just crazy. Why, how we got so far from America and Christian values. Why would I compromise myself, my Christianity, my Catholicism by putting on a little tiny hat on my head? Why would I go, it'd be like if I went to like some Hindu country or something like that. Or even like if I went to Mecca, right? And I was like doing whatever those guys do, cut, kissing and humping the wall, the block, the big black block or whatever. That's crazy. Why are people why are people so controllable? Why are people so groupthink? Why are people so compromised? That's, forget all the other words I said. Why, just one word. Why are people so compromised? Why are people so compromised? What up, Stan? What up, Chad? What up, HD? Why are people so compromised? Why do people have no fucking self-respect? Damn, bro. There's like all these old school cats jumping in. What up, Punisher 762? Why? Don't you think it's kind of crazy? Like, what does it cost you to be disciplined and to be yourself? What does it cost you to be a Christian believer, you know, and stand firm for Jesus and God, not not a cult. You know what I mean? Whether it's Jewish people, whether it's Mormons, or even damn Jehovah's Witness, it's not a cult. I mean, I'm not going to observe other people's traditions. I'll be respectful, but I'm not, you're not going to make me don something and kiss a wall and all. And so I'm blown away by that. I'm actually so blown away. I really can't elaborate on it. I'm new to this whole figuring this thing out, but Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Mike Huckabee Sanders, they've done the thing. And they're just so super duper. And it's like, you know what? Don't you think it's kind of funny if somebody says that in the Bible that you have to XYZ for Israel, right? Does anybody ever look at them and say, bro, that's not actually, it doesn't, there's nothing like that in there. So the whole time that you've been playing the part of evangelical, what is it? Evangelical? Sorry, I can't speak sometimes. I don't use I don't use that word. So if you are that person and you took the trip, you did the hat, you kissed the wall and all that, and then you come back and you tell people, uh, I'm doing it because the Bible tells me to do. Does that ever, like, where is the people in America that say, dude, that's not what it says in the Bible? And because you're saying that is in the Bible, that's what the Bible says, it actually means that you have been playing a part this whole time. You have been playing the part of a Christian because you're not actually reading the Bible. You're on some Ted Cruz shit. You're on some Ted Cruz shit. The Bible says that those that bless Israel, Israel will bless them, or God will bless them. And it's like, I mean, Tucker Carlson humiliated that fool. He is a clown. He's like Yosemite Sam, like a Mexican Yosemite Sam. Like, he's a fucking clown. I have zero respect. I have the same amount of respect for Beto O'Rourke as I do Ted Cruz. I never really liked Ted Cruz, but I'm just saying these are our fucking representatives. I'm talking about our folks, right? So that's why I'm saying I would separate myself way far from that, you know. And the Charlie Kirk thing is incredibly sad because I would put everybody knows me that I would put myself way to the right of where Charlie Kirk was. So I just don't know what our representatives are doing. I mean, you can take Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Give me MTG. I didn't even like MTG all that much, but at least she knows what's up. She's a dog ugly too, but at least she knows what's up. She's got a pretty soul. You got an ugly face. She's built like a tank, but she's got a pretty soul. And so, oh, not once, don't left, not the same. Yeah, I know, Stan. I know all this. I got 6% on the phone. I'm gonna take it all the way down to 1 or 2. So I'm gonna go with y'all for a little bit longer. We've been on almost an hour. I might throw it on the charger and come back out. I don't know. We'll see. But all this shit is controversial. So, you know, I didn't just arrive at all these conclusions yesterday. I've slowly been trending towards it. I think white people should have white pride. And I'm not even all the way white. I think white people should marry white people. You know, I mean, there's plenty of clips out there where I think he was even Muhammad Ali. I think, yeah, maybe quote me that Muhammad Ali had this. Maybe it was Johnny Carson. He was in one of those deals, and he was saying, "Look, you know, I want my kids to look like me. I want, you know, I want to be with a black woman because I want black babies and I want them to look like me." And so, like, white people should have that same energy. And it's not racist, it's self preservation, it's cultural preservation, it's American preservation because this is a white country. I know they're trying super duper hard to make it not, but it is. And then what is going to happen to all these retards when they're here and all the white people are gone? You know? There's countries that are just all white countries and they're not getting any diversities. I'm pretty sure Russia, I'm pretty sure there's probably like I don't know about if there's a DEI in Ukraine, but I'm pretty sure there's no DEI in Poland, you know. So man, they can read whatever freaking thing, whatever they think they're now just man. It's not even that hard. Like you know that you know the craziest part. I want to say this in my social medias where I got all my families and friends at. I want to say like we have AI now. All you have to do is ask AI. You know what I mean? Like we have all the answers at our fingertips. Like who takes another person's word for it? Isn't that fucking weird? You know, unless somebody told me something I already know that I've already verified, then I'm like, all right, oh yeah, yeah, you know, I'll be having the conversation. Yeah, right. You know, oh, okay, yeah. And I will fucking, I'm not gonna Google it right in front of them. I'm not gonna, or maybe I will, depending on how egregious the statement is. But I'm gonna fucking go home and I'm gonna AI that bitch. Um, yeah, I go, you know, it's funny because out here, because like it's almost like Baptists and Catholics got beef, and it's like Catholics don't even have beef with Baptists. Baptists fucking have beef. It seems like I don't know if they have beef with everybody, but Baptists for sure have beef with Catholics. Motherfuckers trying to talk to a motherfucker about converting and this and that. Motherfucker, you're tripping. What are you, Muslim? Stop it. I would never try to go up to somebody and convert them to Catholicism. I mean, you are what you are. We're all Christians. Some of you are in cults, Christian cults, but you know, and some people say Catholicism is a cult. I before I lose everybody on here, I would say my thing is about Catholicism. What has been great and been good, awesome for me is that it's structured. It's basically a template that's copied everywhere. So you know, I've been to church in France, in Marseille, at the Church of Notre Dame. I've been, and mass is the same as it is in Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, you come into a community like this, like a community like that's you know different and out there. Sounds like somebody's pulled up. Somebody's pulled up. I gotta go. My battery's about to die.